Welcome, my friends, to an episode, a subset episode of Tea Time that I am calling T-dBits. It's still a place where I muse about my gender transition experience and in the process aim to comfort and inspire others to a greater level of self-awareness. I'm just aiming to do it in a more bite-sized piece, one topic at a time, hopefully in less time, but we'll see. I am Artemis. On this T-dBits bit, we are going to be talking about why I don't attend Pride events anymore and why I don't need them, and subsequently why that's a good thing. We are still going to be enjoying tea from the Rose and Vine Gift Company right now as it stands. Since we are just before Valentine's Day, we are enjoying what Rose and Vine calls Cocoa Rose Petit Four. As the name implies, dark chocolate, rose, all the trappings of romance. As a base, it's honeybush tea, so again, no caffeine, which is pretty awesome. I recognize, first, right off the get-go, I'm going to say that Pride events have served in the past and still do to this day as an absolutely crucial lifeline for people within the LGBT community to be able to find others that they can relate to and gain some social support. So it's still absolutely a useful and very necessary festival, making no bones about that. My personal issue stems from the word that we use to denote the festival, so pride. And I'm pretty picky on this channel about definitions of words because I think it's absolutely crucial that we are all on the same page as far as that goes so that we can have meaningful dialogue. Now, I'm not about to say that we don't need Pride festivals anymore, because I do think we do, again, as a type of social lifeline for people in the community that are struggling especially. But it seems really odd to me that you would have a festival centered completely around somebody being prideful in their sexuality. Now, we did have for a short period of time the straight pride events that were weekly organized and probably were done out of spite, just to fire back at there being pride events. But I think putting that out there for people to see, and especially a lot of people then thinking it kind of strange that there would be straight pride events, that sort of revealed a double standard, I think. I think personally that to have a festival centered around the idea of being prideful in your sexuality is in itself kind of strange. And that was demonstrated when there were straight pride events that were attempted to be organized, and everybody thought, no, that's kind of weird, why would you want to do that? But that reveals the double standard there. That the only reason why the LGBT community is able to do that is because there's an emotional agenda behind it, not necessarily because you are prideful in your sexuality. For me, and I think for the definition of the word, pride is something that comes from achieving a goal, something I actively work towards. Saying that I'm proud of my sexuality, to me, is like saying I'm proud to breathe oxygen. I exert almost no effort whatsoever to do it. I'm not overcoming any kind of obstacle, and I pretty much was born knowing how to breathe. And I feel like my sexuality is pretty much the same thing. I was born that way. It defines only a very, very small subset of me, which, in application really doesn't have much to do with my life or who I am, for that matter. So could we have festivals that celebrated sexuality, celebrated people in the LGBT community? Absolutely. I have no problem with that. Again, my problem is just with the word pride and the psychological implication that you then have in saying that you are prideful of your sexuality. And that implication is that you have to be in a pretty emotionally fragile state to have nothing else or very little else to be prideful in except your sexuality, something that you just are. And before I get all the hate about that particular idea, that somehow I'm hating on the people who are in that emotionally fragile state through no fault of their own, it's perfectly understandable and forgivable to be in an emotionally fragile state because of any of those things. For me, and for people who watch this channel, I hope that you grow beyond that emotionally fragile state. You get some thicker skin, and you can then take pride in the things that you do in the greater world and not just things that you do in the bedroom. Anyway, I hope all that makes sense. I welcome comments, as always, down below if you'd like to comment. I'm happy to engage in conversation, and I hope this opens some dialogue for some other people just to begin thinking outside the box, because in general, that's one of the goals of this channel, is just to get people thinking outside themselves. You are the box. Until next time.